Psych, we're not done here yet. It's Deep Dive Zone, the Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. And Sonic Riders is still here, guys. It's not done yet.
Yay, it's still here.
It's duplicitous. It tricked us.
I feel like that's the wrong word, but
yeah, it's Duplo blocks. It's wrong.
Okay.
No, it didn't trick us. I think is what he's saying. It just punched us in the gut.
Yeah, it just punched us in the gut 1 week and let us recover for a week, and then ran up and punched us in the gut again.
I feel like gut punch is something that I always reserve for discussing emotions a story makes me feel. This doesn't make me feel a lot of emotions as a story.
No. The gameplay makes me feel
like
emotions.
The impact of it, but it's like afterwards when you're just sore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the point we're making in all this is that last time was the hero story, but there's actually a second story you unlock after that, which is the Babylon Rogue story, where Jet, Wave, and Storm get a campaign all to themselves, complete with one more track than the hero story and an actual ending.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which immediately gets off to a less interesting foot than the hero story, because that one had the cool CG intro. This one, we just have this running gag of Storm always bursting into Jet's office, slamming his hands on the table.
I actually found that kind of funny the second time, not the first time.
The first time, it's like, it makes sense. The subsequent times, it makes less and less sense, which makes it more surreal, I guess.
I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know. This story felt like it was trying much more for humor, and I think it made it less interesting.
It's really odd, because throughout this whole thing, the Babylon Rogues, they come across like a bunch of dumb kids. Like, they just get into petty squabbles over nothing.
It kind of...
aren't just a bunch of dumb kids?
Well, they clearly are just a bunch of dumb teenagers.
I just mean for how it was trying to present them as the cool rivals in the hero.
Yeah, and in the hero story, they're portrayed as kind of like these cool rivals and like actually competent. And this story just makes them out to be a bunch of idiots.
I don't know about the competent bit, but you can have cool rivals that are also dumb teenagers at the same time.
I mean, yeah,
those are not mutually exclusive.
That is true. They're not mutually exclusive. I just
yeah. Well, either way, I suppose we actually get off to a better foot, because we get Eggman immediately here, who is he actually just flew up to their airship, which looks kind of funny. I don't know where he parked the Eggmobile.
Why do they just have an airship? That seems really expensive to maintain.
I think they got it from Jet's father.
Yeah,
that is okay.
That's one of the things we learn here. Yeah. Their search for Babylon Garden, and I assume some of their equipment, is inherited from Jet's dad, who we can see a portrait of in a couple scenes, and he just looks like Jet in a pirate outfit.
Yep.
I mean, pirate outfits are cool.
You could have done a little more to differentiate them, considering it's a 2D drawing. You could make that look like anything.
Yeah, it could be a completely different animal.
Or just a different color, maybe? I don't know. But yes, we do at least learn that Jet's magic cube from the last story is the key to Babylon Garden.
It's his fucking Tesseract.
Yeah, and Eggman tells him, yeah, you just gotta go collect all the Chaos Emeralds. Jet's like, that should be easy. Oh,
yeah, boy.
Yes, they're not even trying to pretend otherwise now.
I mean, with how often it gets done, it doesn't seem like it's really that hard. Like,
well, yeah, but usually they pretend like it.
Well, yeah, I feel like we could collect the Chaos Emeralds.
Well, this is the funny thing, is that
we're in the right game without special stages.
When you look at a series like Dragon Ball, they have, the 7 Dragon Balls. Oh, you can only gather them once in, an extremely long time, because there's these ancient artifacts that hardly anybody knows about. And then in Dragon Ball, the fact that they start using them like once every 6 months for fun is presented as a kind of joke. Bulma starts using them to fix wrinkles on her face. Yeah, in Sonic, though, the Chaos Emeralds are presented the same way, except the fact that they're a part of a conflict, every 15 days or something. Is not even expositive.
The games are only 15 days apart.
Well, it can feel like the games are like every few minutes someone is collecting the Chaos Emeralds and going super.
Sega never.
I wouldn't be surprised if between games that's what happens.
I mean, yeah, we could. I mean, we can only like theorize what happens between games, but it's still a matter of it happens on a common enough basis. Yet they still treat them very seriously.
With the amount of Sonic games that are canon, it has to be more than twice a year at least. So,
yeah.
Anyway, so Eggman's here to propose an alliance with the promise of, I guess, just getting them to Babylon.
Eggman's also huge.
Yes, he is so freaking.
Yes.
I think what it is Eggman is usually about maybe 2.5 times the size of Sonic.
Right.
But the thing is that Sonic is supposed to only be like 3 feet tall. But this is the game where everybody is lanky, so keeping Eggman in proportion with them makes him look like he's like 9 feet tall. He's enormous.
Yeah, it makes Eggman look like he's fucking enormous. I just wanted to make sure we didn't forget to bring up Eggman's terrifying height.
Yeah, a reminder, nothing has changed there.
Of course.
So the Babylon Rogues, their motivation is, I guess, that they just want treasure. They just want to fulfill this quest from Daddy to get money.
They're pirates.
Yeah, they're thieves. They don't. All they care about is getting money or something they can sell to get money.
Pirate, for some reason, was a noun I applied to Jet's dad, but not his son. But I guess you are correct that it counts for them too. I guess Jet is also motivated by his ego because he's like really excited to prove that he's the fastest over Sonic, which
I feel like that's not really fair because you're using extreme gear. Sonic could outspeed you on foot.
Yeah,
well, he's obviously being petty because he knows in his heart that he can't beat Sonic, but his ego won't allow it.
Of course. I mean, I get that. It's still stupid.
Frankly, everybody runs at the same speed on foot in this game when they're holding the extreme gears if you run out of air, so...
I almost mentioned that, but, I mean, in gameplay, a lot of people are as fast or even faster than Sonic, so... Yeah,
ludonarrative dissonance, as we said. I'm not going to overuse that phrase, because video essayists love to say that, but I'm not going to. And, you know, I guess basically makes Jet the same as friggin' Sam Speed from Sonic X, who wants to be faster than Sonic by using a fucking Formula 1 race car. But in any case, that's all just the first cutscene. Our first actual stage is the first stage from the hero story, but at night and with some different layouts.
Is this race actually like the cutscene of the hero story? That is the way I saw it because it's at night. I do believe
so. Yes, because Night Chase they call it is I mean it's set in the same city obviously, but it's at night and you're getting chased by the cops, which is a neat context, I suppose.
Yeah,
I love when they try to make the different stories interesting and weave together. There's not a whole lot of that here, so I have to take what I can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's they did their best, and this is gonna be the pattern is that, okay, well, hold on.
They did something.
That's true, I'll agree with that.
Well, this is gonna be the pattern is that all of the Babylon stages, save for one, are basically remixes of the hero stages, but they have different visuals, and the layouts can differ anywhere from not that much to very significantly. So I would say, in terms of asset reuse, it's a decent enough case.
Sure.
But they are on the whole harder than the hero tracks, which is not the best for a game that was already kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, playing the hero story first at least gives you lets you know how to play it.
Yeah, I think
right after you bumble your way through it.
You bumble your way through the hero story. If anything, the hero story feels like the tutorial after playing the Babylon Rogue story, which I kind of just fucking breezed through the Rogue story.
Well, that's the thing is, I do think that the Rogue story is better than the hero story.
On a sheer gameplay front, sure, but that's because I knew how to play the game.
The problem is it gives you less to talk about, because it's like, what even happens in the next cutscene? We see that it was Wave who sabotaged Sonic's board, which I spoiled before, and I forgot that they didn't actually show it. But you could have guessed that.
Oh, yeah.
What I couldn't have guessed is the fact that Amy, Sonic, and Knuckles could clearly see the bomb right there, and yet they ignored it.
Oh, you know.
They're...
What's the fun of winning a race without any explosive challenge?
Jesus Christ.
I guess you just gotta let him do it?
Also, apparently Wave actually does appreciate Tails' craftsmanship and is just psyching them out.
Yeah, she says, she even mentions like this is a pretty good job for an amateur.
Listen, she's got a reputation as an asshole to keep up. You can't go around.
All of the rogues are assholes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are.
They're all massive pricks.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm coming away from is just none of them have like particularly attractive personalities.
Yeah, none of them are likable. I'm like, damn, I'm glad you guys failed at whatever the fuck your goal was.
When I'm thinking about this, is this the first time that we've had to say that about a new character in these games?
That they're like shitheads?
Just their personality was a complete like no good to us on the whole.
I mean, well,
I'm just thinking like obviously we like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Yeah.
And it's like Amy has her moments of not likability, but from the first couple
she's fine. Yeah, early on and more recently, Amy's fine.
And it's like Shadow and Rouge we were mixed on, but I think generally came away with an okay impression of their personalities at least.
Generally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess, if we're talking on average.
Yeah, I think on average.
We think Big is hilarious.
Big is funny, but also we like him for other reasons than we like characters like Shadow.
Yeah,
well,
and then
obviously.
like who's left? I suppose we didn't have a ton of great things to say about Emerald. He was kind of flat by the end there.
Yeah, Emerald is boring.
But it didn't like actively annoy me, I would say.
Yeah, well,
like a lot of missed potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like Cream and Omega are fine. They serve their purposes well enough, I suppose.
Omega's backstory is funny, that he's just angry at Eggman and wants to kill him.
Well, Omega is actually a great example of this, because he's an asshole, but he's funny, so...
Yeah, and then we get the rogues who are assholes, but they're not funny, and that's
they never
the thing.
Turn it off, and they don't have the intimidation factor to make it stand up. They're just kind of...
Well, and it's weird because like they weren't super creative either, because it's like Storm is big musclehead jerk,
right?
Wave is science jerk, and Jet is speedy jerk. He's the closest one to being actually different in the group. He's the leader, and so he gets the most focus.
Well,
but they're not all that different.
It's also obvious, and it's an attempt at giving us comparison characters between Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Right.
They're the bad stereotypes of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
They're the bad parts of the Archie versions of the characters.
In a game where Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are already not at their best versions of themselves.
Sure. This is Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in Sonic Battle.
I suppose.
Yeah, well, what the hell do you want from me? Red Canyon? Who cares? It's just Splash Canyon, but a little bit worse, I guess. I don't know.
It's a game.
It's more of Splash Canyon in a cave. They all got the same music as the original tracks. This one has evening light. You play as Wave instead of Tails, but you still have to fly through stuff.
You race Amy in this race, but there's no cutscene explicitly explaining why. I'm guessing they were like so mad at Wave that they challenged him to a race.
I guess this is also how Amy got eliminated.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, finally some three-dimensional storytelling.
Hell yeah. The best part of the story, we get to know why Amy fucking dipped out.
All worth it now.
Hell yeah.
In the next scene, we get this really drawn-out joke where Wave says that Storm's skills suck, and then she has to teach him the meaning of saying that something sucks by spelling it out. It's really weird.
This is the second time that Storm barges in, too. He, like, knocks over the picture of Wave's dad, as before. But this time, Jet picks it up and then, like, throws it away, implying maybe they're not fond of their father.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like you have to make assumptions with this because you don't get a lot of context otherwise.
Right.
Frankly, it's incredible that we've put as much effort as we have into analyzing this story. You know, my parents used to get mad at me for saying something sucks, or even, like, Adventure Time for saying it. I really wish that I had this game as a kid, so it's like, Sonic the Hedgehog will say it, now what, motherfucker?
Yeah, and Sonic the Hedgehog also approves of guns.
I suppose, yeah, we did, I guess, Shadow the Hedgehog, and it's mild swearing. They never had a problem with that, though. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, next stage is Ice Factory, which is Egg Factory, but cold instead of hot. I like that it's more visible than Egg Factory, which had really murky visuals, but it also has fucking ice physics.
I feel like most of these stages are not worth talking about.
I have zero notes for this track.
I need to specify how screwed up it is that this has ice physics. Think about it. You're using a hoverboard.
It was already slippery.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Well, but how does a hoverboard interact with ice?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Is the air
so you
slipping?
See, what I was about to say, when air gets cold, it screws up the extreme gear in such a way that the handling is more difficult. It's all part of the lore.
It's the air vapor freezing.
Well, apparently this stage is... I don't know how... this is what we were saying last week about how, like, why is this a race? Because apparently this is supposed to be Storm spying on Eggman.
Yeah, another
cover. I'm just racing here.
Why is Eggman hosting a race at his fucking base?
In fairness, he was doing that in the hero story too, so maybe...
I know, and I forgot to ask the question then as well.
I mean, if he owns the racetracks, it's economical,
He doesn't have to pay to rent out the stadium or whatever.
That's really stupid.
He spent all his money on a fourth egg carrier.
Nah, man, it's all just insurance fraud.
Well, it is. That's how he's able to pay for it at all.
Fair.
I'm sure after destroying that many, parts are becoming more scarce.
I mean, probably.
In any case, I at first thought that this was complete filler because we don't actually see the result of it in the next cutscene. We just cut away. But that's not true. Instead, the next cutscene is just Jet and Wave screwing around, I guess. It's like, they have this weird gag where Wave starts, like, lecturing to Jet about things, but they speed up her dialogue so she gets faster and faster as he's ignoring her.
Women annoying, funny joke.
It really comes across like that. Like, ugh, my fucking girlfriend is so chatty.
I know you're joking about the girlfriend comment, but like, I don't
these two deserve each other. What are you talking about?
No, I'm pretty sure they fucking hate each other.
Yeah, that's why they deserve each other. They deserve to be with someone the other hates.
I guess.
Listen, who else are you gonna ship him with?
No one.
I didn't even consider such a thing.
Neither did I. Yeah, I didn't either. I just figured they hated each other and are only working together out of sheer convenience.
Actually, the more that I think about it, they do all seem to hate each other pretty vehemently.
Yeah, no, the
that
rogues
actually makes sense in that way.
Yeah, no, the rogues just seem to hate each other, like, violently hate each other, and they're only working together because they each have skills that they need for whatever the fuck they're doing, because it didn't really seem like they had anything they were doing before Eggman said, hey, yo, fuckers.
Well, and that gets me thinking,
come join my game.
How actually are they, like, existing? Because here's the thing. The Babylon rogues, I don't know exactly how clear it is, but I think they're all supposed to be from this same place, right? Babylon,
yes,
they descended.
Yeah, they're all Babylonians.
So how did they, are these people who grew up with each other? They're not siblings because they're all different kinds of bird. But
yeah, so
and some of the later revelations I know exist about Babylon make this extremely weird as well. Like in Zero Gravity and stuff, so I don't know. There's not a good conceivable way for why they even know each other in the first place.
I mean, I can make up a backstory, but this game obviously didn't care about the backstory.
Yeah, this game didn't care enough.
They need to simultaneously be together by coincidence and have set out intentionally. It's really weird. Yeah, I don't know. That we're thinking about it more than they did again. So
I mean, we have a habit of doing that.
The next stage is White Cave as opposed to Green Cave, but like Green Cave was green because it was covered in plants, so they're all white. So like, did they get all of the chlorophyll sucked out of them? I don't know.
That's another one
Sure.
of Eggman's chemical weapons.
Oh yeah.
What Eggman's violations of the Geneva Conventions.
Of course.
The shape and layout of this track I find to be worse than Green Cave, just because there's multiple jumps that I feel like I can never make right, and I just run into shit.
Probably.
I don't know. I guess if you guys don't have a lot to say, that's just my experience.
I don't know. I mean,
either.
yeah, no, I've got nothing to say about most of the tracks in this story.
Also, this race starts with Jet running after Sonic at the end of that last cutscene, and then Sonic's nowhere to be seen in this race.
He's lost.
Really slow.
He got lost.
Oh, that's why they needed to sabotage him, I guess. The entire race up to this point is just Jet trying to catch up to him. I guess this is the filler race, not the one with Storm, because the next cutscene we do see what he recovered, which is a friggin' teeny tiny SD card, I guess.
Probably Compact Flash.
Has Eggman revealing that he was sort of tricking them, but like not that much, because he is getting them into Babylon Garden. It's just that Eggman wants to be there so that he can get like some of their technology. And he basically told them all that's there for them is like jewels and treasure. But I feel like there kind of are jewels and treasure there. Like there's a lot of stuff in Babylon Garden. So it's like, did you even really need to lie to them? You could have just said like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think we saw anything, but the whole thing has been
that sequence in his imagination where he's like surrounded by gold, and we don't see that.
Yeah. Well, so the whole thing though is that Babylon's Garden is going to be full of like riches and technology that like the world hasn't seen since the fall of the Babylonian civilization.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's weird that he even needed to say on tape that he was lying to them, because he doesn't know exactly what's there for himself either. So it's like, if you had just said in your thing, like, oh, you can have whatever's there, and I just want to get my hands on some cool tech. You know, it's like, why do you even need to say you're playing them? I guess he just has to feel like he's in control.
Worse.
Yeah.
We do get this little weird bit of Babylon myth about like a young man who was gifted wings by Babylon and used his gift of
Icarus
take over the world.
Yeah, it's Icarus. Well, it's Icarus with the addition of world conquest.
Well, but there's no Daedalus in this story, and also he doesn't screw up. It just says that he won.
I don't know. It's Icarus. Instead of Daedalus, they have an entire civilization, and instead of fucking up, he conquers the entire planet.
Okay, so it's nothing like Icarus then. There's just wings.
Yeah, so therefore it's Icarus.
Well, I'll tell you this. It means that the rogues not having wings feels more intentional? Like, is this what you have to do to get wings?
What, conquer the planet?
No, drinking Red Bull. No, I'm sorry. That's very stupid.
Oh my god.
Also, you conquer the planet when you have wings, not the other way around.
So are wings a metaphor for some kind of power?
Well, yeah, it is a myth after all.
Yeah, only the powerful have wings.
I guess it's just they don't actually seem to give that much of a shit about all this anyway, so it's kind of moot.
I mean, I think at this point I'd like to also bring up the rogues are like kind of shit villains also.
They're not good villains. They're not good rivals. They're not good heroes.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, especially Jet. Yeah, on one hand, after that story, he mentions how he doesn't really care about world domination, so that's nice. At least we have a quote-unquote villain who has no interest in world domination. But also,
money.
Yeah, he's just a greedy bastard. They're just kind of shit, like, entirely.
Yep.
I almost appreciate that, but like we have to spend a lot of time with them.
Okay, interesting.
Well, it's like sometimes someone who sucks and is a loser can be, an inherent comedy unto itself. Like,
I mean, sure.
I'm thinking like Kirk Von Houten on The Simpsons, where like there's nothing good about him. He's the worst, but he's also hilarious. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm missing the comedy though.
That's the thing. There is no comedy.
Well, that's on account of the writers not being very good at their jobs, so...
Yeah.
Dark Desert, everybody! It's the alternate stage to Sand Ruins. Although it's probably the most different of the Babylon tracks, I want to say.
Yeah, it probably... It actually, I think it definitely is.
Yeah, because the layout is basically entirely different except for the very start of it. And it also takes place during an eclipse.
That was kind of cool.
Oh, an eclipse. I thought it was at night.
I mean, I figured it was either an eclipse or at night, so.
Okay.
If you skip the intro cutscene, you won't see the eclipse happen. So I suppose, yeah.
To be fair, I think I did skip the intro cutscene, so I didn't know it was an eclipse either.
I think last week I called this place Eclipse Desert, so we're all in various stages of being wrong about it.
Well, I guess that's less contradictory, but I can still lodge my complaint, which is they had to actually contradict something between the two stories because that's a tradition now. The race when in the hero story was just during the day, not during the eclipse.
Yeah, this didn't even happen.
Well, I mean, it's the same race. It's just a different time for some reason.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
When there are other weird things, I'll tell you this, I don't love this tracker. I specifically dislike the giant stepping stones near the beginning of it, because timing 3 jumps off of those and steering in the right direction to head to the next area of it is a pain in the ass. But also it has weird little things like when you get to the indoor temple part, you know, in Sand Ruins, you just get launched out of the big ballista, which lands you back in the stadium, which is a fun enough bit of, you know, oh, the ancient tech still does this. Here, you just get sucked into a giant hyper-energy ball that teleports you? Like, what's that about? You know, we're talking about ancient Babylon civilization. Is this not part of it?
I mean, I assume it is.
Technology. It's technology. Don't worry about it.
See, the thing is, it is part of the Babylon Empire, but it's the uninteresting part because Eggman already has equal tech to this. So
true, he does.
I guess. I don't know if they ever exposit this as part of the Babylon stuff, because they usually say that Babylon Garden is all that. So it's like, if you were to tell me that this is 2 unrelated, hyper-advanced ancient civilizations that rose and fell on their own terms, and one of them just goes completely unnamed, that's really funny.
No, I assumed it like fell off the island and got buried in the sand or something.
Yeah, okay, that probably makes sense. In any case, at least I got to hear the rave music again, but it's still not actually very fun to play.
Yeah.
And it is at this point that, like, a lot of the same stuff as in the hero playthrough happens, but we see it from, like, weird different perspectives. Like, some of it is exposited on TV by Omo Chow to nobody, I guess.
Omo Chow is a newscaster?
Yeah, what the fuck?
If he's the announcer for the games, then, you know, maybe that's why he's on TV. I don't know. But yeah, we see it from that perspective, and then we skip all the way to Babylon Garden, but, like, the whole bit with, like, Sonic chasing after Eggman is kind of gone.
That's fine. We didn't need to see it again.
Instead, we just get the rogues kind of getting chased around by this Egg Pawn Brigade for some reason.
Yeah.
And then you have to play Sky Road, which is the Babylon Garden equivalent, as Wave. But again, like, why is that a race? Just run off the track. They'll stay there and they won't see you. It also punches you in the nuts right from the outset, because Sky Road, as soon as you leave the starting area, there's just giant-ass pillar in the middle of the starting line, like right in front of the track.
Yeah.
And since you want to stay in the middle of the road so that you can, you know, make turns when you need to, it's extremely easy to run into or get bumped into.
Hell yeah.
And since you're playing as Wave, it also expects you to make, like, really good ramp jumps into dash rings, which is a pain in the ass.
I mean, I guess I just kind of brute forced this race.
I mean, you guys are playing with cheats on, so yeah.
The only cheat I was using at this point was fucking infinite air.
Okay.
I was cheating the heck out of it. That's why I'm not really commenting on anything.
Well, to each his own. I guess it's just that for these being hoverboards...
If I was playing this game myself, I probably wouldn't even finish the hero story, but if I had, I would not have played this story.
If I was playing this game myself, I would literally just be playing it with multiplayer.
That would be honestly a better time.
Well, we'll do that eventually. We're not doing it now. The only thing I was going to say, for these being hoverboards, they sure have pretty high friggin' gravity. That was the thing that I was going to make a joke about.
Yeah?
Well, assumedly, they, like, push off the ground, and so...
Well, I assume it isn't just anti-gravity. I assume, yeah.
Yeah, they can't fly.
They have higher gravity than a normal Sonic game is the thing, though.
I don't know, maybe they're heavy.
I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of tweaks that you could make to this game where the game feel would be vastly improved. And having a consistent sort of more floatiness in the air and having you sort of leaping between further apart but more fairly spaced platforms instead of the hard knuckle to the ball sack that a lot of this game is would be better. But I don't know. Anyway, so that's whatever this is called, Sky Road. And we finally, after this race, continue to something we haven't seen already. Because the rogues, you know, they open the temple after Sonic just gives them the key, because who cares? And some weird, I want to call it a growling shockwave, because it shows a shockwave but makes a noise, and it just arbitrarily compels Sonic and friends to run inside.
At this point, it's kind of nonsensical.
They're just turning around to leave, and then in the background they hear "woo," and they're like, "Wow, we gotta see that."
Interesting. Yeah.
And what it turns out to be is a genie, a weird alien bird genie.
They call it the Guardian, and it looks stupid as heck.
It does look stupid.
The Babylon Guardian, the only boss fight. I hope you hear my massive air quotes when I say boss fight.
I mean, this game. It's definitely a fight.
I mean,
something.
Is it a fight? Kind of, perhaps.
I mean,
to its credit, it's not a race. It does not matter where you place in this stage.
That's true.
Okay. I mean, is it not a race? Because there are other racers that get in your way.
Well, yeah, but you weren't trying to get a specific placement. You're just trying.
Why are the other racers there, though? Why are they getting in my way? Aren't we teaming?
I'm saying it's not a race. I'm not saying it's good.
The other racers are trying to go fast through the track still, so everyone else thinks it's a race.
Well, okay, to be fair, that's just the game's shitty AI. Yeah. They didn't bother making a new AI for its fight.
Well, but I'm
just saying that it plays a lot like a race still.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
The backdrop of Babylon Guardian is we've traveled to the Hell Dimension.
Yeah, what was going on there?
There's gargoyles, a blood moon, crimson clouds, and giant spikes sticking up from the ground.
Yeah, the fuck was going on there?
This is a rare part of the game that I kind of like just a little bit. Because,
the aesthetic is cool.
Yeah, suddenly you're in hell, and then you hit the Guardian, and then, like, there's a static effect, and then you're suddenly in this weird, like, computer world for a second until it reforms. And so it was all just an illusion, assumedly, to try and intimidate Sonic and company. And I think that's actually pretty neat.
Yeah, it's Babylon's security system, and interestingly, this is like, there's one stage that is completely unused in the campaign, which you'd think that they'd have put in the hero story, but they didn't. That's literally just called Digital Dimension, and it's where this stage has a hell aesthetic, Digital Dimension has a heaven aesthetic, but it's still it still sometimes flashes back to the like cyberspace look, I think. I don't remember when, since it doesn't have a Guardian, but yeah, so it's like, this is almost cool, but it's like we still have no context to this. It's completely half-baked.
They were gonna get the treasure, and then there was a Guardian that guards the treasure, and the Guardian is gonna try to kill you, although it does a terrible job at it. Like,
does it even damage you? What does it do? It just runs away.
It throws fire at you, I think, which can, like, knock you back or whatever. Yeah. But this boss fight, in quotes, is such a mess. My cheats were no good here, so I had to do it legit. But I could not ever catch up to it. And so it's like, hey, wait a minute. What if I just wait? And then just wait for the Guardian to loop around and hit it. Like, you can just do that.
If it works, it works.
I thought it was pretty easy, but then I'm someone who actually, like, plays this game, so I get it.
I didn't think it was too hard of a fight. But I can also understand.
I don't blame you. I'm not. You just have to smack his magic lamp 3 times, which some fucking security system, but okay.
I'm just saying there's no lose state, which kind of threw me off.
True.
Yeah. I mean, better
literally
for it
just
if
wait until you win.
So.
I mean, it's kind of just boring.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, if you had been able to lose and your cheats weren't enough, then that would put you in an impasse. It would be a struggle.
I mean, it was basically in the game at this point anyway, so...
Yeah. When I say that it lacks context or is half-baked, I guess it's just like, why? Because I feel that Sonic in general, when it has, old stuff, at least sort of feels connected. Because up to this point, it's like, we knew the Babylonians had technology, and we knew that they had something related to flight. I don't see what that has to do with genies in cyberspace specifically.
Right. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, thematically, you're right. It's kind of weird. I mean, the cyberspace is just an evidence of their high technology. Honestly, we don't know a whole lot about the Babylonians. There's very little, so, like...
Not really, no.
It didn't, like, surprise me. I was just like,
yeah,
that's kind
I guess
of weird.
This might as well be happening.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, in any case, we defeat it very easily or difficultly, whatever. Guardian disappears, and we get a Legend of Zelda treasure chest, which Sonic and Jet are about to open up, only for Eggman to just point akimbo pistols in the back of their heads.
That was...
Shadow the Hedgehog really made waves.
No, Wave's not in that game. No, I'm sorry, that's stupid.
God.
Yeah, no, he really wants that there treasure.
The gun, he looks really silly whenever he's doing something with his hands. I don't know how to explain that.
It's because everyone's hands and feet are gigantic in this game, and they're even bigger for Eggman.
I almost feel like that in general with Eggman. Anytime he's doing something physical, he just seems really silly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a silly character, so...
He is.
Listen, the point is, he's got guns, and surprisingly, Sonic is not going to risk it getting shot at by Eggman this time. And so they do actually step back, and I don't know how to explain this next bit, alright.
Doesn't he, like, cast their guns aside or something, and then they just don't do anything with them?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But we open up the treasure chest, and... the treasure is a rolled up piece of fabric, which we'll get to in a second. More importantly, it comes with like a slip of printer paper from the Babylonians saying like, oh, this is our ultimate invention. And as Eggman reads this, right, and I bet this is much more convincing in the Japanese version, like he's reading it and the animation suggests that he's getting more and more worked up about what it is, only for the joke to be that the rolled up thing is a carpet.
Right.
And he does, like, the comedic anime fall when he's like, I spent all this time for this? The problem is, they had absolutely no English direction for this, so Pollock reads all of this in the most controlled and normally paced voice he can, which means that when he has the overblown reaction, it's one of the most awkward cutscenes in a series that contains something bugging you, despite me kind of liking a lot of these games' cutscenes.
That's not the way it came off to me. The way it came off to me, and is still strange, when I saw this scene, it seemed like Eggman was, like, really impressed with the carpet, and he was like, wow, this is, like, amazing. This is, like, the best carpet I've
he's
ever
like,
seen.
damn, this is a great carpet. I'm gonna fucking replicate it and sell it.
And then, like, for some reason, he changes his mind at the last moment. And he's like, wait a minute, this is just a carpet. I don't want this. This is stupid. I can't believe it. It's just weird, though, because, like, as Bruce said, like, he could make use of this carpet. And I don't know why he changes his mind suddenly, like, complete 180.
When a couple people have pointed this out, this is pretty much the closest thing to an unambiguous win that Eggman has in these games, and if he hadn't done the silly pratfall, it would be completely true. Like, he just got exactly what he was looking for. He's just disappointed with the result, so it's like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Does Eggman not learn that it actually can fly? I can't remember.
No, he's still on the ground when they discover that, yes, this is not just any carpet, it's a magic flying carpet, and I guess that means that it's the original Extreme Gear, maybe?
Yes,
I think it is.
That's definitely what's being implied.
Well, yeah, it's not a win because he didn't notice that, so...
Yeah, he knew, but here's the thing. Even if he did notice that, he doesn't need that. He already knows how to make Extreme Gears. I assume he does, at least.
I mean...
Okay, but what about if it was actually a real magic carpet, and then Eggman discovers magic, and then everyone's screwed?
Well, yeah, that's different.
Oh yeah, just like in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yes, I almost made an explicit call to that, but you got it, Devin. I'm proud of you.
Oh my god.
Well, sorry, old man Ivo, you almost got a true win, but unfortunately you are a villain in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, so you can never be quite happy. And granted, you know, him quote-unquote winning requires everybody else in the Sonic universe to act really stupid, but, you know.
True.
And then I guess we just go home. It's funny to me that like, oh, Babylon Gardens here. Well, we got this thing. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Probably nothing else valuable here.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of stuff that's valuable.
Giant floating palaces to hold one carpet and nothing else.
I mean, yeah.
You know what? Maybe.
So is this the carpet that was used to conquer the world?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Maybe.
Ow.
Magic.
Listen.
Oh, it
listen.
actually is magical. There you go.
I have crazy theory crafting time. Maybe this carpet as the first extreme gear is actually the perfect extreme gear because it doesn't require air energy, and that's why.
Can I have that? Can I have this extreme gear then?
Yes, you can, and you know why? Because in the next game, Sonic Rider Zero Gravity, there is no air meter.
Oh, thank God.
Imagine though if for beating the game you got it as an unlockable extreme gear and it was just the broken ultimate gear where you don't have to use air. That'd be a cool little bonus, wouldn't it?
Your reward for completing this game is for it to be fun.
No, it needs a gameplay overhaul to be fun.
Yeah, well. Anyway, Sonic and Jet depart by doing a funny little dance with their boards.
Oh, unfortunately, they're not dancing with each other.
No, they just kind of do a choreographed little airboard routine, and it's funny because they're departing on seemingly good terms? ? And I just think that's funny in that the modern writing of these characters is such that everybody fucking hates the Babylon Rogues. Nobody in modern Sonic likes them. They think like, those guys. Like they seem to take our side and thinking they're just weird.
Awesome.
Persons.
That warms my heart, honestly.
That is funny.
Yeah. You know, times change. I guess there's 2 other Riders games, so maybe something happens there to make them hate them.
I'm sure they will.
But yeah, that's Sonic Riders. We get a different ending theme called Catch Me If You Can, and I don't like it.
Is that the one where one of the lyrics is the term "buck wild"?
If that's what they keep shouting, then yes.
Okay, because to me it sounds like there's yelling "fuck wild."
Well, that's the version for people who actually played this game.
All right.
You know, there's not a lot of hoverboard racing games, and
Wonder why.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the best example, but this one needs some work, I think.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to try out some of those competitive fix mods that people have made, because I've never played any of those. But it would be interesting to see if the way the game plays under those is more reliable than this. Because
I'm not. I'm good.
I don't utterly detest everything about this game conceptually speaking. I do think that a Sonic game should be an on-foot racer.
True.
Yeah, can we just get Sonic R2?
But there's room for some kind of hoverboard racing game, maybe made by people who want things to be fun, but you know.
Just give us Sonic S.
What's the S stand for?
It's just the letter after R.
Oh.
That works. Speed.
Oh yeah, there you go. Sonic R, Sonic Racing, Sonic S, Sonic Speed.
Sonic speeding. He's gonna get caught by the cops. Frankly, that happens enough on its own. I guess it's not even really that much of a joke. So, I admire some things about this game's presentation, but pretty weak note to go out on for the adventure. Should we have left this as the first game of the Dark Age, maybe?
Should we have just not played this game?
No.
Yeah, I wish we hadn't.
Listen, buddy, everything means everything. I'm not gonna enjoy the Sonic and the Mario at the Olympic Games, but I'm still gonna do them. Eventually.
What? We are?
Eventually, and not for very long, but in general, at some point.
We're probably. I thought the plan was to just kind of combine them all into one episode.
That is the plan. We're not going to cover them for very long.
We'll get like 30 minutes out of them.
Probably. They're mini game collections. What else could you do?
Yeah, they're just mediocre fucking Mario Party with Sonic characters. Oh, wait a second.
Stories.
Oh, they do. Don't worry. Also, wait a second. It's mediocre Mario Party with Sonic characters. We've already played.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Listen. I don't know what to expect with the Olympic Games, but I know it's not going to be as bad as Shuffle.
That would be impressive if it was.
It would be very hard. It would require a lot of effort levels. To achieve.
You know.
Yeah. Well, see you guys next week for not Sonic X. I know we said for a while we were going to do it, but we decided we like comic books better, so we're going to do more comics next.
Hell yeah.
And all that being said, that's going to be it for tonight. If you enjoyed this episode, or I guess if you hate me for not liking the game that a lot of people seem to like, feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at the link tree shown in the description with a whole bunch of social media pages. We will see you next week for, as I said, comic books. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great night, and take care.